Hey everyone, my name is R Cubed. Welcome to a brand new science episode tailored towards, you guessed it, Science Bowl and general science learning. Today, we will be discussing apoptosis. What exactly is apoptosis? Can it be used in cancer treatment? How does it arise in tests and Science Bowl knowledge? How is it different from necrosis? These are all wonderful questions that we'll be answering in this video. Stay tuned. In case you're new, my channel is all about STEAM: science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. Make sure to subscribe and like for daily science preparation, questions, guides, and more. By following my daily videos, you can learn a lot about science. I even have entire playlists with Science Bowl videos which are updated regularly. Without further ado, let's get started. There are two ways that cells can die. Apoptosis, or programmed cell death, is a form of cell death that is generally triggered by normal, healthy processes in the body. The other way is necrosis, which is the premature death of cells and living tissue. Necrosis occurs when a cell is damaged by an external force, such as poison, a bodily injury, an infection, or getting cut off from the blood supply, which might occur during a heart attack or stroke. When cells die from necrosis, it's rather a messy affair. The death causes inflammation that can cause further distress or injury within the body. Apoptosis, on the other hand, is titled as relatively civil, even though it may not sound so at first. It's when a cell commits suicide. How is that better than necrosis? For one thing, the cleanup is much easier. It's sometimes referred to as programmed cell death, and indeed, the process of apoptosis follows a controlled, predictable routine. Let's go over the steps of apoptosis. First, we start with a normal cell, which then shrinks because of chromatin condensing. The membrane begins to bleb, and organelles will then disintegrate. The nucleus and organelles will then completely collapse, such as the mitochondria. The membrane continues to bleb at that point. Finally, apoptotic bodies will form, which then get eaten by macrophages in phagocytosis. This results in no inflammation, as it's programmed cell death. Now that we know the function of apoptosis and the various different steps that are involved, let's go over 3 practice problems. First, question 1. Apoptosis is a form of programmed cell death or cell suicide that occurs as a normal biological function. Which of the following scenarios demonstrates apoptosis? There may be multiple answers. Pause the video right here and choose your answers. If you selected A and C, you got it right. A was correct because apoptosis is programmed cell death. C was also correct because the tissue was not damaged. It was planned for the cells to be destroyed. They went through apoptosis. Question 2. Apoptosis and necrosis are both types of cell death, but each occur under different circumstances. Which of the following statements accurately compares apoptosis with necrosis? A. Apoptosis results in cell rupture, which releases intracellular contents, while necrosis does not. B. Both apoptosis and necrosis are important tools in embryological development. C. Both apoptosis and necrosis are triggered as the result of physical cell injury. Or D. Necrosis causes an inflammatory response, but apoptosis does not. Choose your answers and pause the video. The answer is D. The reason behind this is because when necrosis occurs, the cell actually bursts open and all the contents flood out, versus in apoptosis, as we went over earlier, the phagocytosis that occurs makes sure that all the intracellular contents like organelles, the nucleus, etc. are all contained and destroyed. Now you may be wondering about what apoptosis has to do with cancer and cancer treatment. So one of the hallmarks of cancer is actually its ability to survive without having to do apoptosis. It divides uncontrollably and none of the cells actually die, leading into buildups of cancerous tumors and tissues. This is why, more recently, lots of research has been done into developing drugs and medicines that can help induce apoptosis in cancerous tumors and buildups. Who knew that by learning about these simple science topics, we can understand a lot about the world around us and help solve leading problems like cancer? It's trivia time! Today, we learned about apoptosis and the stages and functions of apoptosis. We also learned about necrosis, the stages and functions of necrosis, and the differences between apoptosis and necrosis. We went over some practice problems that could come up in science tests and Science Bowl trivia knowledge. We lastly went over some practical examples of these biological functions, like in cancer treatment. Well, this has been another science episode with R Cubed. Click up in the upper right corner so you can watch the rest of our playlist with our other Science Bowl videos. Make sure to subscribe because we post daily Science Bowl videos and other science knowledge that you guys need to know. Thanks for watching.